Aloha. Today I wanted to make an actual quick video and just bring this point to the surface because I've mentioned it in previous videos, but really just give my sort of observation and definition of what the design of trending actually is. Trending is the new mainstream. It's just a new name for what we understand to be as mainstream. Trending is designed to keep you dumb. Trending is designed to maintain the materialistic version of reality, to maintain the mind control. When you understand that videos are picked and chosen to be trending, when you go on Yahoo News, when you go on Yahoo's homepage, when you go on whatever sort of mainstream news on the internet that you go on, that stuff is chosen by this colonial mind control algorithm that maintains a distraction program. And this is tied into your holidays. It's tied into your bank holidays, your religion, your education system, your universities. Everything is about this, and it's about emotionally triggering your engagement. And like I said in a previous video, when you have a bank holiday, when you have a 3 or a 4 day weekend, you don't question that shit. And that's by design. You don't care. You don't necessarily care why. Like when people have Veterans Day off or Labor Day, you don't really care, or Columbus Day or Thanksgiving. We don't really go into the depths of what that energy actually represents. You just are thankful that you have a day off because the design of this slave program is so thick that we barely have enough time to take a breath. So that's basically creating your God. When you expand it out to the biggest, to as far as it can go, when you include religion, when you include people's spiritual connections, when you include all of the storylines at one time, observing the colonial universe in one moment, in one breath, we can see that this program, the fiat currency system, the globe model, the maritime admiralty program, the Queen of England, the United States of America and president, the all of these control grids, your scientism community that's designed to make you worship the density, physics, quantum physics, the theoretical physicists like Michio Kaku, all these people. I'm a damn theoretical physicist. I can theorize about the physical nature of the universe and physics and so on and so forth. In fact, everybody is doing that when you realize that the scientism community is a total farce. So the only thing that makes the so-called they different is that they televise these people. They crown these individuals. Like Neil deGrasse Tyson has been crowned, and he made it there by working through his so-called security clearances, which is known as the education system. And then once you get to the peak of your security clearance in the education system, that's when you start questioning your reality and you get faced with those choices. Are you going to keep going and share this information, or are you going to shut your mouth and play the game the way it's been told to be played? And that's what separates the people who are in the know and the people who are just following along blindly, believing in the system, or thankfully avoiding the knowingness of the system because it's easier that way. It's easier just to tell your kid to believe in Santa Claus because he came home crying because everybody else believes in Santa Claus and we don't have a Christmas tree. It's like the easy way out because the status quo. Trending, the mainstream media, maintains the psychological status quo. And the psychological status quo is based upon ignorance. It's based upon slavery. It's based upon emotions. It's based upon dogma. It's based upon shutting your mouth and just ingesting the belief structures that have been sent down to your mother, your mother's mother, your father's father, and so on and so forth, and to just go along with what the rest of the world has been doing forever. And it also is included into your relationships. Like when people are talking about Westworld and Stranger Things and all these television shows that are on there, he's like, yeah, I can understand that, but from an expanded perspective right now in this moment, that's the intention of all these television shows. This is why they had to create Netflix and Amazon Prime and Hulu and all these other things to expand the distraction grid, to give people more color. It's like instead of having just a box of crayons that would just the crayon box with like 12 crayons in it, that's with like the local news or the mainstream media, they had to create this giant box of crayons to distract people even further. So they created Netflix and released the internet and so on and so forth to just bombard your focus, your emotions, your creativity, your imagination, your ability to challenge the system is bombarded by this destructive intelligence and this distractive nature that will never allow you to, your peers will not allow you to challenge the system at all, because who wants to lose friends? Nobody wants to lose friends. Nobody wants to create separation from friends or family. Nobody wants to be an outsider. This is set in from the crew, the bully mentalities that are placed in the public education system, and the creating of the cool crowd and so on and so forth, all the politics that happens in high school. And like I said in previous videos, the adult world is just an adolescent world, not constricted by your principals and your teachers, but you're constricted by the government, the police system, the education, the university system, and so on and so forth. And proof of this is when you watch these actual television shows that you talk to with your peers about, they're all TV-14. Even your rated R is 17 years old. It's for a 17-year-old mentality. And that's the design of this trending world. It's to maintain an adolescent mentality. So they get people out here like Oprah to talk about losing weight, and she'll never talk about GMOs. In fact, she still has Monsanto, or still had Monsanto at one point in her magazine, old magazine, when she was talking about she only eats organics, but she's selling genetically modified foods in her magazine. And then they get this artificial version of spirituality out there with this artificial new age when they start talking with like Deepak Chopra and Eckhart Tolle. It's all about limitation factors. They have to tell you, like I said in the previous video, it's not so much about what they're telling you, it's how they're telling you what they're telling you, and who's telling you what to think, what to feel, what to teach your kids, what is wrong, what is right, what is real, what is fake, who are the good guys, who are the bad guys. That's the design of the script makers. They create these scripts and then they just magnify it on these trending factors, just like trending algorithms, just like the mainstream did and the local news did. And they're creating another form of that giant crayon box, is like these YouTube sensations. And like I said in the last video, just as much as they are taking views away and hiding information on the internet, and proof of this is the trending. They make you see this stuff. They make you think like a 15-year-old. They make you think and act and address your politics like a Seth Meyers, like a Stephen Colbert, like Trevor Noah. And you're like, oh, and you say, oh, well, those are good people. Those are very smart people. But you see, that's what some people would say. That's exactly the design. They have to play that fence. They walk that line. And as they walk that line, you actually you fill in the blanks. You fill in the blanks. And those blanks are still based upon the algorithms that were designed inherently by the limitation grid that was put out there in the first place. So that's basically all I wanted to say with this video, is that this is to make you dumb. Trending, the mainstream media, is to maintain density, emotional density. All of the triggers that make you want to reproduce, that make you want to marry, that make you, like, I saw a quick little video on Instagram. A little girl was crying because she said she has nobody to marry. She was like 5 years old or 6 years old or something like that. And she was crying because she said she had nothing to marry. Like, she didn't even know what it was. But that implant was so deep because of her what she's been surrounded by, that this is what happens. That's the design. That's the design of the Barbie program, the Ken and the Barbie program over generations, decades. That's the design of Saved by the Bell. It's the design of your cartoons. It's the design of all of these television shows. So when you so-called grow up, your growth is not based upon like like what Saved by the Bell is, and going from high school to the college version of Saved by the Bell. Those are still kids in their heads. They're still high school mentality. And that's what this trending is. Trending is the mainstream media. And since this was how the mainstream media is keeping itself alive. So when they put Seth Meyers on here, when they give Stephen Colbert a YouTube channel, when they give The Daily Show a YouTube channel, when they give Samantha Bee and John Oliver a YouTube channel, they get millions and millions of views. Same thing with Saturday Night Live. They're getting millions and millions of views overall. And that's by design, to keep that mainstream control algorithm alive, to keep people sucked in to the design of distraction, keeping them dumb, keeping them adolescent, keeping them focused on the materialistic realm, keeping them insecure, keeping them focused on, like in They Live, everything that the guy sees when he puts his glasses on. It's the same thing. The internet, the trending on the internet, is just another version of keeping your glasses off. It's like instead of actually putting the glasses on, you're putting like these contact lenses in that don't show you anything. You might be able to see more clearly because you have more to look at, but you're still looking at this garbage. You're still looking at what is programmed, like hair tutorial, all this shit. What is Groot made of? Making a Christmas card with 6 cats. Like, this shit is by design. By design. On purpose. Like, imagine a YouTube that was focused on telling information or just sharing information that was revealing the structure of this mind control program as a whole. Just like, imagine what would be trending on there. Like, imagine like inventions, like for kids who invent stuff. Like that trending on here. How many people would be inventing stuff? But no, they want people to be making hair tutorials and how to make Christmas cards with 6 cats and have Casey Neistat, just like I said, merging the mainstream with the internet. They suck these people in. They suck these individuals with a big enough following that are just dumb enough to not question the reality and just to go along with it. So Casey Neistat was bought off by CNN to do whatever it is that they tell him to do. And it's not so much about him and all that other stuff and his business and all that. It's about his following. They don't give a shit about the individual. They give a shit about how many eyes are on that and how it validates themselves. CNN. Same thing Bernie Sanders did with TYT and Trump did with Alex Jones and vice versa. They do this to make itself bigger, to bring it, to merge it. So that's basically what I wanted to share with this. This is garbage. This is just garbage. Jimmy Fallon, like I'm willing to bet there's more people that actually watched only the clips of these shows like The Tonight Show and these late night shows and all this stuff. More people are watching the clips on the internet than they're actually watching the entire television show. Like most people don't watch the television show. In fact, I'd be willing to put money on that like because the attention spans are so, and if they do, it's in the background and nobody's really paying attention to it. So it's still, and if you do that, then you can realize that's the intention of it in the first place, to subconsciously program you. And if you still do that, realize, and you can't do that and you just think, oh yeah, well, it's not bothering me. It's not like a thing. Excuse me. Then realize the fact that that's an actual thing. It's an issue to have like that playing. Like some people can't be in the house without having the TV on. Like there's a lot of people like that. They can't be, and that's because of the attention. It's because of so many things. But to stay on focus here, the energies, the vibration, the frequency that's coming out of the television is 90-something% to program your subconscious reality. And the remaining 10 to whatever percent or whatever percentage between the 90-something% is for your attention span, your conscious reality. These are magicians. Hollywood is designed to focus, to get you sucked into this thought process. So like the moon hoax landing, that's not so much about like war, like being the first ones to go to the moon and all that other stuff. That's actually for globe model programming. They tell you on television, we did it, we beat the Russians, and we're the smartest people and all that other stuff. That's like the little shit. That's like the conscious reality. That's the mainstream trending version of what the moon landing represents. But really, it's about subconsciously programming you to believe in the globe model overall. And they do it by saying, we went to the spherical moon. We have the power to go to the moon, and we did it. And it's way out there, and we had spaceships and so forth, and all this other astronauts. And so your subconscious, just like they put all these globes in the movies and the television shows. I even watched an Alex Jones video the other day, and they ended it. They just pointed right down to a globe. There's a map in the background, and then they pointed right down to a globe. I think they were talking about actually like, I don't know if that was about Obama's birth certificate or something, but it's everywhere. It's in your TV shows. It's in your, like this trending stuff. This is about maintaining emotional triggers. This is about like the Christmas spirit. They're trying to sell you diamonds. They're trying to get you to reproduce. They're trying to get you to buy all kinds of commercial materialistic shit. That's the subconscious programming that's being maintained here. And I know I've said this in a lot of previous videos, but I'm going to end this video real quick because this is really just what I wanted to share in this moment was the design of trending, and to help people see that if they are actually putting information out there for you to see and saying that this is important, that's the intention here. They're telling you this stuff is important, and this is the new mainstream media. This stuff is important. This is what you need to focus on. This is what you need to be paying attention to. All of this garbage. This garbage is this is not, and this is not so much for the adults, because the adults who, whatever, are convincing themselves that this is good for their reality. Whatever it is that adults, this is mostly for the kids who are being sucked into this reality. Every agenda, the alien agenda, the gay agenda, you can look at Saturday Night Live and clearly see the gay agenda. You can look at Hollywood and clearly see the Hitler Jewish victimization and alien agenda in Hollywood. You can see all the agendas in Hollywood in the movies. You can see the reproduction agenda and the marriage agenda in your Christmas spirit, and you can see you can see everything. You can see the effeminization agenda of the black man, and the entire flipping and reversing of roles with the divine feminine and divine masculine. You can clearly see that in the music industry with all these effeminized black rappers and so-called hip-hop. This is not hip. There's no essence anymore. It's all commercial. Everything, every song, everything. And I'm not even going to go into the actual subtle vibrations that are inside the music. Outside of the flipping of the frequency from 440 or 432 to 440, like keeping you in that sort of sickly vibration. Like the meat eating program. Like that's an agenda as well. This is another reason why you have all these commercials, all these bacon commercials. That's to keep you dense, to keep you sick, to keep you feasting on that dead energy. It's the design of that dead energy. The materialistic, focusing on your body and all that, all the makeup tutorials and all this. It's to focus on dead energy, that which is not you. If it is you, it's in the 0.001% of reality of you, when the rest, the majority of who and what you are is the spirit, is the essence of your connection to nature, is the essence of your connection to the ancestors. That is the 99th percentile of who and what you are. Challenging the mind control program of this dense physical universe and thinking outside of this box. This maintains the box, the trending, the mainstream maintains the box of separation, dumbing down, disconnection, believing in history, in the history that's told to you, and never challenging your reality outside of that. And you can't step outside of that box because all your friends are in this box. All your friends are watching Netflix and Saturday Night Live and Stephen Colbert and the Young Turks and Alex Jones and all that other stuff. All your friends, what are you going to talk about? What are you going to have to talk about? When are you going to become your own mainstream media? When will you become your own trending? When will you activate your own creativity, your own imagination, your own intuition to become your own mainstream trending media? Because until we challenge ourselves to do that, we'll still be subject to the colonial mind control algorithms that maintain this limitation program, that maintain this dominance factor of these magicians who are killing you with kindness. All this is to maintain the belief in America #1. So let's go drop bombs with drones on other people. Let's go colonize other land. Let's go. They need some freedom over there. Let's go give them some democracy. Let's keep torturing people in Guantanamo. Let's keep believing. That's all Trump really is to lower down your expectations on reality. Just like George Bush, your expectations on the political scene were so low because he was so dumb. Like, overtly dumb. Like, you didn't have any expectations for him, yet he was the president of the United States. This is what Trump is representing. This is what that system, he's good for the system. Because they can do, just like with Obama was the opposite. You said, well, he's so smart. Then you just believe everything that he's doing and that he signs off on. He's so charismatic. He's so intelligent that you're okay with everything that he says and does. This is how that game plays. It goes up and down, playing with your emotions, playing with your belief systems. And in between those up and down peaks, you fill your reality with distraction. And they even got that covered with your trending media. So that's basically it. Thank you for joining me. And until next time, from all my relations, peace, love, and harmony.